These are some pencil illustrations I did for a prose story that I wrote 2018 called Megaton Man, Nuclear Family. And basically it takes place on April 1st, 1986, which is the same time as Yarn Man #1. So it's a little bit of an elaboration of Yarn Man #1. And this is the pencil version. This is the scanned printout. You can see Trent Flug, Megaton Man, is a civilian. He looks a lot like me maybe 20, 30 years ago. He's working at a bookstore. He's daydreaming. He's dusting the shelves. He's reading Kant. And the miserly boss of the bookstore is looking at his watch, telling him to take his lunch break. He's already used up part of it. There are a whole bunch of stories that take place in Ann Arbor. After the first 10 issues of Megaton Man, I moved all the characters to Ann Arbor. Megaton Man lost his powers. The see-through girl was going back to college after interrupting her education when she married Rex Rigid and joined the Megatropolis Quartet, became the see-through girl. And they have a little boy now. And without benefit of marriage, they are parenting partners of Simon Flug. Here, Trent, still with his bookstore name tag, is picking up Simon excuse me, at the Arbor Harbor Daycare and Nursery School. He works at the Border World's used and slightly new bookstore. And Simon has done a dinosaur drawing. It's Simon's birthday. It's his 5th birthday. And he wants to see his gift. And Trent has gotten him a how to draw book, a remaindered copy of a how to draw book. He thought he was going to get him the dinosaur book, but he accidentally bought him the Mega Hero book. The problem is Stella doesn't want any Mega Heroes mentioned in her household. She wants to raise Simon as a perfectly normal little boy. Trent, of course, used to be Megaton Man, doesn't have his powers anymore. And Stella used to be the see-through girl, and she wants to forget about her past in the Megatropolis Quartet, wants to have a total normal life. So here Trent is explaining to Simon not to tell Mommy that he accidentally bought him the wrong book, How to Draw Mega Heroes instead of How to Draw Dinosaurs. And here we have the bookstore. Obviously, Border Worlds is the name of my science fiction series. This Ann Arbor storyline was really rich with a lot of potential. It appears in Return of Megaton Man 1, 2, and 3, which were supposed to be Megaton Man 11, 12, and 13. I got into such a row with the publisher. I've blogged about this. And to make a long story short, there are glimpses of Ann Arbor in the X-Thems, One Shot, and Yarn Man #1. But I was... the relationship with the publisher became so toxic, and I was so discouraged that I pretty much stopped doing comics for them. I did, in the first 3 years at Kitchen Sink Press, I did 17 issues bi-monthly. I did 10 issues of Megaton Man and 7 issues of Border Worlds. In the second 3 years, I only did 8 comic books, which was less than half of the previous 3 years. I just, and I blogged about this, and I'm going to write about it in the afterword to first collection that we're putting out later this year. Anyway, this illustration, Simon has pointed out that in this how to draw mega heroes, here's a picture of his own parents, which he's not supposed to know about. He's not supposed to know that his mom is the see-through girl. He's not supposed to know that his dad is Megaton Man. So it's even worse for Trent, who should have bought the How to Draw Dinosaurs book, and he's now bought this book that spills the beans on his past, which Simon is smart. He's a smart kid. He already knows about the past of his parents, even though Stella's trying to keep it a secret from him. Here's Simon back in his bedroom. Here's his Aunt Clarissa, Ms. Megaton Man, Clarissa James. She's popping in for his birthday. And here again is the scan printout. You can see, excuse me, Simon has action figures. He's got dinosaur toys. And his aunt, who lives in Detroit, is flown in using her Mega Hero costume. She switches into her civilian clothes really quickly because, again, she knows that Stella wants no mention of superheroes or mega heroes in the house. But as I say, Simon's a smart kid. He's figured this out, and there will be all kind of complications that ensue in the narrative. Here again is the pencil version, and Clarissa is. When she's been babysitting him over the years, she's been babysitting Simon since he was a toddler. He was born in Return of Megaton Man #3, and she was there when he was born in the hospital. She's been babysitting him for several years and reading him comic books and playing with the dinosaur toys and so forth. And she's let slip all kinds of information about Simon's parents being mega heroes. So there's going to be a little bit of a conflict with Clarissa and Stella because, again, as I said, Stella really wants to raise her boy without any knowledge of his mega hero past. She wants to raise him as a normal child. These illustrations, by the way, were for a prose attempt at a young adult novel. I have a rough draft, and I'm still working on that. One of the reasons that I dug these out is because I am going to be a part of a superhero prose project, or an independent comics prose project that is being started, so I will have more details on that later. Again, this is 2018. It's now 2024. It's 6 years ago. Thought I would dust these off. I have done a lot of prose writing on Clarissa, Ms. Megaton Man. I've told a lot of her story online, and from her perspective, the early 80s, the Ann Arbor years. There's a lot of untold stories from this college town. What I love about the Ann Arbor milieu, after the first 10 issues of Megaton Man loses his powers. Everybody goes back to Ann Arbor. And after I took a break doing Border Worlds, I really thought I had my second wind on the Megaton Man series. I thought I had a new firm footing that I could have run with for a long time. Unfortunately, as I said, the relationship with my publisher deteriorated incredibly, and a lot of those stories got passed over. And when I was finally free of the publisher, Kitchen Sink Press, I ended up doing Bizarre Heroes, which skips ahead several years past the Ann Arbor era. But there's a lot of stories that take place in this college town. I thought it would have been the perfect blend of Silver Age superheroes and traditional newspaper comic strip cartooning, along with a little underground comics vibe because of the countercultural scene of Ann Arbor, the sex, drugs, rock and roll, the Bob Seger Silver Bullet Band, the used bookstores, the hippies, the bearded academics. I thought it was going to be, I thought it would have been something I could have mined for quite a long time. And it would have been perfect for kitchen sink press. But history worked out a little differently. Anyway, more on this soon, more on the prose project. Robert Jashonik is editing. I will be giving you more details on that. Thank you for your support, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.